All right, all right. LDMMAC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. You're live on the Coach Shelton Harrison Combat Sports Show live. Okay, guys, and we got our special guest. Okay, we got our special guest here, Miranda. Miranda. Oh, I'm sorry, God, I got to get this right. Miranda feared the Maverick. Miranda feared the Maverick. Did I say it right?
Yes, you said it right.
Okay, great. How you doing this morning, Miranda?
I'm doing pretty good considering the time.
And I appreciate it. I appreciate it because I've been trying to set this interview up like for a while, and it's like, okay, my work schedule got in the way, and then I had a incident with the family a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, man, she gonna think that I really don't want to talk to her, but I actually do.
No, that's all right. I've got a busy schedule too. It's sometimes hard to make interview times.
God bless you. God bless you. So Miranda, you just came off of a victory, okay? I mean, you had a stellar victory, another first round submission, okay? Another first round submission over Victoria Leonardo. Like, how did you? I mean, how do you feel? Because you bounced back after a very tough fight against Brogan Walker.
I feel really good. I mean, that Brogan Walker Sanchez fight, I should have never lost. Shouldn't have ever went down like it did, and I was very kind of hurt from the loss. As far as needed to improve my mindset more than anything, because like there wasn't any reason I should have lost. I should have pushed more volume. I should have used my cardio better, used proper techniques when I needed. Just a lot of mistakes in that fight. Going in there, trying to push for like a first round finish again, didn't get it. Got a little bit discouraged, and from then on, the fight was more me sparring mode, and it was ridiculous. Um, but I knew I needed to get back and win, especially to be a highlight of the flyweight division again. And so as soon as they called me for Victoria Leonardo's fight, I was just motivated as could be. It was only like 5 weeks out from my previous fight, and went in there and wanted to show a dominant performance. So I did my best to do that.
So you virtually didn't. So you saying you didn't take any damage, any major damage in the Brogan Walker Sanchez fight?
No, not at all. In fact, I've never been hurt in any of my MMA fights. I didn't even have a bruise, I don't think, which is why it's almost more frustrating, you know. Of course, you were tired and it hurt during the fight, but like afterwards, there was no damage. I think
Okay.
I actually hurt her foot and stuff worse than I was hurt.
Yeah, you had on. I mean, you had that ankle lock, or you had a heel hook, and you had it in pretty deep, And it kind of looked like when you went belly down, it almost looked like she was about to tap, but she kind of stayed in the game. Like, what were you thinking at that time? You're like, yeah, I got her, but
I was like, I have this. I have this. And then she was just tough. After that, I was like, okay, well, another level of competition. She's good. She's tough.
it,
Like,
it's,
fight, adrenaline takes over. Some of those things don't hurt until they break, and I wasn't quite able to get it done.
but you got it done. But you got. I mean, she was a tough fighter. You got it done. Yeah, I mean, you went the distance, and you were like, man, I know I can do better. But I'm gonna tell you something. When you came out at 19, and I saw you choke out Samantha Diaz, and I said, wait a minute, this kid's only 19. And I'm sorry, I'm not calling. I don't mean to call you a kid and disrespect you. This young lady is 19, and I'm like, you choked her out, and it's like you did it in like no time. You just walked up, you went to the center of the octagon. Then the referee called you back in, and next thing I know, you got your hand raised. Because I went to get something to drink, and I came back, and you had already won the bout.
For me, that pro debut was a great opportunity. I didn't see Samantha Diaz as much of a threat. I thought it was a great opportunity for me. But, I take every opponent very seriously. And went in there, I was almost frustrated leading up to that fight because they were talking about like what a jujitsu expert she was. Yet I was actually the same belt level with more stripes, even I think at that point. I was like, this is ridiculous. And all they'd talk about was my strength. So I wanted to win that by technique, and I did.
That was a beautiful RNC. I mean, it was beautiful. Even the way you applied it and the way you actually got her. It was almost like as soon as you grabbed her, you touched her, and she was on the ground. Like what kind of conditioning do you do? Like, do you do like a lot of strength training? Do you do a lot of cardio training? Because you're strong.
Yeah, thank you. People would assume I do a lot of strength training, which actually is not true. I probably do less strength training than most of the females. Um, A lot of it's genetics. I'll give credit to my dad for that. Like I can put on muscle so easy, it's ridiculous. As soon as I start lifting weights. And so when I got injured about a year ago, and I was out for almost a year, I did start lifting just for rehab and stuff to keep myself in shape. I gained about 10 pounds of muscle just walking around. So I look a lot different than what I did when I started fighting for Invicta. However, a lot of my strength just comes from how I was raised, like working on the farm, building kits, did it more than anything, but carrying feed buckets, all that stuff. But I also do like, I consider my practice as my training as conditioning. Like I practice 4 to 5 hours a day, punching, using weights while I strike for sparring, like all of it, which makes me strong.
Yeah, well, you strong, and I'm gonna tell you, um, I'd even say in certain parts of the fight, when you fought Sanchez, she was trying to pin you against the cage, and every time you kept like reversing it, and I'm like, man, I don't think a clinch battle is safe with Miranda Maverick. It's just not gonna happen, because it's almost like you would take it that personal. Like, wait a minute, you're not gonna muscle me around. I mean,
Right. I practice with guys that are a lot bigger than me at most points. Like, hardly ever have I had a female training partner. So, like, I'm not used to being the the bigger opponent or even the same size. I'm used to being pushed against the cage and having to fight those guys off. So, for me, fighting at 125 is nothing.
that's the perfect weight class for you too. I'm telling you, because you have a huge opportunity in front of you, especially with Invicta. But I kind of, boy, I'm so excited. I'm sorry, I'm going back and forth. Uh, I want to talk about your dad, because I noticed, your dad. He's everywhere. He's at graduations. Dad is in the corner. Dad is in the gym. Like, was dad like your first trainer?
Pretty much. I guess you'd say that. Like all growing up, we roughhoused and stuff, but we weren't like the typical like let's just wrestle around. Like he watched the UFC and things, which I know isn't like valid training, but he would practice the moves on me, and we'd look up videos of jujitsu and teach me the proper techniques. Which obviously I still had a long way to go, but he taught me like basics and always instilled that mindset of I can do things, of stay determined, of break stereotypes, that kind of thing as I went into practice. And he was the one that encouraged me to do MMA from the start and do jujitsu and learn self defense. And he's always there for me no matter what I'm doing. Like, some of the things you see publicly, like those aren't the only times he's there for me. The most important times are when he's at home, when people don't see it, when people don't see all those hard times that I've gone through, that he's right there to pick me up.
Yeah, it sounds like a guy you can sit. Is your dad kind of like one of the philosopher types? Like, he just knows the answer to any situation. Dad, I got this going on.
Pretty much. We always joke. So, the Lion King and also this movie called Wrestler's Rhapsody, like they make the sound "oh" about when they know what's gonna happen in the future. Like, joke with my dad. I swear he knows everything. Uh, he always like predicts how a fight's gonna go, like all of it, and it's funny. But he's always there, and he's always looking for my best interests. So I will always give him credit for that.
Man, your dad sound like a type of guy I could just sit and just talk sports, man. We probably be arguing, man. Like we be arguing. Like it just seems like a stand-up kind of guy, And I just notice him even in your corner. I'm like, man, what do your dad tell you in the corner sometimes when it's not going the way he thinks it should go?
I've only had a couple that went past the first round, but the Brogan Sanchez fight, he was like, "What are you doing? Like, you're a Maverick. Like, go out there. You know you have volume. You know you have strength. Use it." Which obviously I did not perform adequately. But like the Gabby Romero fight after round two, he was like, "You know you can finish this fight. Quit goofing off in there and go finish it."
Okay.
And it's just kind of his attitude with it. But usually before the fight is always the funniest. He'll just hype me up so good because he knows, he knows what my triggers are. He knows what pushes me. And it's always about they're standing in the way of your dreams. Go after your dreams. If you want them, then you've got to win this fight. That kind of.
Okay, now Miranda, I don't know if I told you, this is actually it's a live stream, so people actually are hearing us talking in real time. So, like when we're done, the video just upload. and you don't have to, we don't have to wait. It's gonna be up. Um, and you already got a question, okay? This is from our rugby queen. She said, "When did you first start fighting?" Oh, that's a good question.
I started fighting a month after I turned 18 years old. I wanted to start fighting right as soon as I was 18. I didn't even realize there was a legal age. So I was like asking before that if I could fight. They were like, "No, you gotta be 18." So the day that I moved to Drury University brought me about an hour and a half closer to my gym. I was traveling an hour and a half every other Thursday to come train. And at that day, when I moved to Drury University, I was 2 miles away from my gym. I would run there all the time and started practicing literally every single day. I told the coach I would be in there every day training my striking because all I had was like a jiu-jitsu background, and he was like, "Yeah, okay," didn't believe me at all. And the day school started, I started skipping orientation, skipping unimportant classes, and going to practice instead to train. And within 3 weeks, he had a fight scheduled for me.
All right, now I'm gonna use that sound bite. I'm gonna make a Miranda Maverick intro video. I'm gonna use that sound bite right there, buddy. I'm telling you, boy, that's so you skip orientation. But Miranda, this is college.
It was, but I also figured out pretty fast what was important and what wasn't important. I didn't need to be sitting around playing a bunch of games to introduce me to the college. So I left, went to practice like during the nights that they'd have student dinners and things, and I went there instead and practiced and trained and cut weight after 2 weeks of being in college and had my first fight.
Guys, Miranda, hey, Miss Maverick just say, look, I don't care about some dinner. I don't care about playing some little rinky-dink games. I want to get in here. I want to train. This is what I'm here for. Wow.
Yep, exactly. Like for me, college is to learn, and I was there to learn, but I wasn't there necessarily to socialize or anything else like a lot of the other kids.
Wow. Well, I think you're probably a bit more mature. I think those are kids, and I think you realize I'm a woman with a mission. I got stuff to do. Amazing, amazing. So, okay, so let me ask you this. Okay, you're in college, so now that's gonna lead me into my question. See, this is just flowing right along. Cause I was gonna ask this, but you already getting me into the question.
There we go. That's the best kind of interview.
God Almighty, what are you majoring in? Cause I gotta wonder. A girl that just snaps arms. What is she majoring in?
Well, my undergraduate was in psychology and sociology at Drury University. I double majored and also got a certificate in scientific recognition. So I did a lot of research there and data analysis within the psychology side of things. And then I applied to graduate school, and that's what's brought me out to Virginia. And I am right now seeking my PhD in industrial psychology.
Okay.
Which basically business psychology. It's where you kind of handle the selection process for organizations. You talk about hiring, firing, human resources side of things, or you can also be on the selection side where you do data analysis and data screening and things, which is more what I'm interested in because I like the statistical, the math and logic side of things.
Okay, a math person. Holy mess. Okay, so now I gotta ask. Do you and your dad, you guys ever sit around and do stats, like on fights?
Okay, we do not do stats on fights. Actually, we watch fights and like I'll take notes and stuff, but we don't really do the stats. Um, it's funny because my dad's like, I don't even want to talk about college. I don't know what you're doing. I hope you're just doing good, and he'll like listen to whatever I tell him. But he's like, yeah, okay. What language are we speaking again?
You know what? This got to be kind of hard for him because you're an hour and a half away now.
No, I am 18 hours away right now.
So is this really tough for him because you guys are so close?
That's very tough for both of us. I have my little brother and sister, but I was always like, I guess for both of us, like he was my lifeline, and I feel like I was kind of his. We'd get each other more than they even do. Just because I think I was raised by myself for a few years before they came along. And so it was like me and dad palling around, like we were together all the time. And now they're there, and he's just had to get used to being by himself a lot, had to be used to just me not being there. But we literally talk every night, or through the day, and check on each other. And I'm getting ready to go home tomorrow, actually, on a flight. And I'm just super excited. It'll be my third time back home since I left, and it's been 3.5 months now since I've seen him, and I just miss him.
Oh, so does he know you're on the way home, or are you gonna surprise him?
Oh, no, he knows this time. Last time I surprised him, he had no idea. I planned it all out and got home via my brother who was at school, got dropped off at the school by a friend, and like he drove me home and I like snuck upstairs and surprised him. He had no idea.
Now, you guys, you're from Minnesota originally, right?
I am from Missouri. So
Okay.
I'm from Missouri. I did my undergraduate in Springfield, Missouri. So I was only an hour and a half away, or like a little less than an hour and a half away from home at that point. And now I'm in Virginia. So I'm 18 hours away from him.
Wow. Okay. Now he's come out to Virginia a couple times, right?
He has not. Like I've only been here since August, and I've came to Missouri once for a fight since then, and then once via my own accord. Um, he's not much of a traveler. If there's no reason to be, he'd rather stay on his farm and stay with the family, which I agree with. That's why I go home. So.
Wow. Yeah, hey, so when you leave college, are you ever gonna return to the farm life and just, like be, just be keep it simple?
I don't think I'm ever going to return to the farm life necessarily, but I want to live there. Like we're close enough to Springfield or even like bigger cities. Like I want to live at home, I guess. Like we have like a loft that I built for myself initially and put money into that and everything. So I'm hoping I can move back home once I fight and do this career, like I've talked about it with him, and maybe for a few years I'll go and get a job elsewhere that pays good money and just work and like kind of connect back to home and eventually come back home afterwards. Or this MMA career takes off and all I have to do is that, which means I'll definitely be at home just training where I need to for fight camps and then coming back home, hopefully starting my own kind of little gym area in that law.
Miranda, you look. This thing is flowing. Now you're flowing with the people who are watching you live. Like you're flowing with them because the next question is, do you see yourself going to the UFC eventually? Hot dog. That was perfect.
I do. I absolutely see myself going to the UFC eventually. I've actually already had a short fight notice offer, which I did not take because it didn't seem like a good decision. Me and my manager, my dad especially, talked about it, and it just wasn't a smart move. So I'm just waiting for that call that does work out for me. I'm staying in fight shape. I'm always ready. That way, if they do call me on a week's notice, I can say, here I am. So I'm ready. I'm ready for Invicta to call me. I'm ready for LFA. I'm ready for the UFC. Let's see what's next.
Yeah, that's pretty smart because you have a lot of fighters that'll take those short fight notice because they don't think that they'll ever get that opportunity again to be in the UFC. But you like no, I'm gonna keep training and make this the best. Wow, that's a gutsy decision, especially from a 21-year-old. Wait a minute, wait a minute, people, do y'all notice she started at 19? I watched her first fight about 2 years ago. She's 21, and she's already got three first round finishes. Okay,
I
how you
always
gonna?
tell funny, like at 18 is when I started my amateur. I turned pro right before I turned 19. And then I had those fights, but I also got injured for like a year. So a whole year was taken out of all those times, which is sad, but I've still made it a long ways within that time period, I feel like.
What did you do in that year, Miranda?
Worked on my nutrition more than anything, focused on school, worked on my nutrition, and I still went to almost every practice. I was definitely practicing way before I should have been. Um, and went in there and was just working on my technique, and I feel like it paid off. I transformed my body as far as nutrition and focused on what I ate, got my meal prep in order, um, and just got a lot of things done, and my mindset changed a little.
Okay, man, she said her mindset changed. I mean, all that doing while you were hurt. So, okay, now we got a nice little audience here. They're asking some questions. So, Rugby Queen asked you about the UFC. Mary Thomas asked you. Oh no, she just said you're still older than her. She turns 21 next month. B.J. Johnson, he says, what threats do you present to your opponents?
Threats. Well, a lot of threats, but basically, I have a lot of different strengths that I don't feel like most girls do. For one, strength itself, like physical strength, I feel like I'm stronger than every opponent I've ever faced and will continue being for a while. The higher level I get, the more strength I try to build. Like I do try to do explosive workouts. I'm going to start trying to do a workout regimen where I'm lifting weights more frequently and focusing on leaning up but building muscle at the same time. Also, I feel like even though I'm shorter than most of my opponents, like I have that advantage of being shorter to where wrestling's a little bit easier, takedowns are a little bit easier. And I have that wrestling and jujitsu background that very few women have. Uh, Even at higher levels, it doesn't seem like their wrestling is that good, only a few people. And I feel like wrestling in the ground game is such an important part of technique in mixed martial arts because it's true. Once I get most of these females to the ground, I feel like I've won the fight, and I usually do.
Well, I don't even want to say usually. Yeah, almost every time, because they can't deal with you on the ground, and those submissions are nasty, especially your armbar. I think like that armbar, it's almost like you just developed that, and it got better after every fight.
Yeah, well, what's funny is my one of my coaches, not at this gym, but at my old gym, who's cornered me up to this point, name is Brett Welcome, and we have a very close connection, and he's always been a great coach for me. And before the Cal Holiday fight, and before every fight, we go over certain techniques, and it was so funny. We literally worked the exact same armbar that I got on Cal Holiday back there because we were a little bit concerned with her wrestling. We thought she might take me down. And if that was possible, like we thought that'd be a stupid decision on her part because she didn't have much of a jujitsu background at all. But I was prepared for it. She took me down, and I was able to lock up like a triangle position, go to an arm bar. And when I had done that in the back, I had forgotten to put my foot over the back of the head, which is an essential part of that arm bar where you reverse it and then go back to a regular arm bar. And my coach like scolded me and was like, no, put your foot on the back of the head. This is how you do it. Like put my foot there. We practiced it a couple times. And then I literally hit it perfectly in the fight. And from then on, we always joke, like, show me the move, I'll do it.
Dang, show her the move, y'all, and she says she'll do it. Guys, y'all need to look. Y'all need to tell your mom. You need to tell your granddaddy with the glass eye. Y'all need to tell somebody. I got Miranda Maverick here in the live stream. Man, this is great. And now you got somebody playing matchmaker with you. You got Mr. B.J. Johnson. He's playing matchmaker. He says, "Hey, let's let Miranda Maverick fight Dakota Zimmerman." Matchmaker. I love it. Matchmaker. Well, you got to run it by her dad first and her manager, and then they'll see.
And, been trying to get a fight with Pearl Gonzalez, hopefully, for the vacant flyweight title. Another name that's come up is Stephanie Geltmacher.
Yeah. Oh, we know Stephanie. Oh,
Right.
we definitely know Stephanie around here. Covered Stephanie for a while too. That whole Invicta card, man. You guys, there's a lot of Invicta talent, but I think fighters like you and you got Pearl, you have fighters like Alicia Zapatella. You guys, you're going into Invicta, and you guys are aggressively making your names known. But how has Shannon Knapp allowed you guys to just do what you guys need to do as women?
Shannon's just made a huge step and stride towards women's MMA, which is obvious. Like, she called me for my pro debut, and it was like a dream come true. I had literally hoped that by the time I got 5 fights, I would be in Invicta, and I was there for my pro debut. It was unbelievable. And she's just been super connecting with me and super nice. You know, we message each other, happy Thanksgiving, like things like that. She cares about us as more than just athletes, and she's talked to me personally, brought me into her like hotel room when I'm there, and will just talk to me. She lets my dad come to the back when it's technically like I'm not supposed to have 3 people back there, but it's my dad. So she allows that to happen, and I just appreciate her.
Man, Shannon Knapp. You know what? And somebody insulted. I took it as an insult. They called Shannon Knapp the female Dana White. I said, no, no, no. We can't compare Shannon and Dana. They got two different roles. No, no, no. Shannon is doing something on a level with the females that's just it's not really heard of because I don't even think in the UFC they do a great job with the females. But I think in Victor, man, like they did one of your fights, they actually did a story, like a nice little background story on you, and I was like, okay, this is really good. Like now you find out a little bit more about Miranda Fielder Maverick. You're finding out like about her college and what motivates you, what drives you, And Invicta, I owe that to Invicta. They did a great job, and it really got people more in touch with Miranda Maverick.
For sure. I love the walkout part when I can rewatch it and hear all the good commentary and the whole background they give on me.
Yeah, now I was getting a little irritated at Julie Kedzie, because when you was fighting Sanchez, I don't know, she was a little bit reluctant to point out what you were doing good. And I can understand if a fighter is losing a fight or if they think they are, that's their opinion. But I kind of like for commentators to point out the good stuff. At
I do
least.
understand that. I feel like there are certain commentators that kind of put me down during fights, no matter how good I'm doing. But that's all right. I'll just keep doing good.
But that's yeah, yeah. We're gonna keep doing good. We're gonna keep on endorsing what you got going on because you got a nice little ride, a nice wave. And I'm not gonna keep you. I ain't keep too much longer because I know you got to go to training and you set aside a time lot for me, so I appreciate it. I mean, I honestly do because you got up at 7 o'clock and you were like, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, you said it first, and I was like, no, oh God, no. And then I was like, if that's the only time we can do it, let's get it done.
God bless you. God bless. I promise. Next time I interview, and see, I threw that in there too. Next time, see, it'll be at a time because I work with students during the day, and it's tough. I'm dealing with crazy students, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man, just doing it. So one pic, and I see a pic. One of my favorite pictures of you. It's not the armbar, which I really like that photograph, and it's not the Invicta logo where they got you on fire. That's good too. But man, you're praying in a circle of all your accomplishments. Who was the mastermind behind that photograph?
I actually asked her to take that, and I had the idea. Wish it would have been a little bit better. It was a little bit off kilter, but you know what? Like, I give God so much credit for well, not so much credit. I give him all the credit. And I try to mention that after all my fights. It's basically one of my main inspirations to fight is to represent him, be a Christian athlete out there among a world of very few that actually like stand up and say, I'm a Christian. Like, this is why I do this. This is why I fight. He's the one who's helped me get here. Like, the ability that I have to be able to do it wouldn't have without him, and the ability to be where I'm at. Like, only blessings have came since I started MMA, and there's no reason that I am where I am aside from help from my family, help from my friends, and resources, and help from God. And I try to make that clear during every single fight that I have. We pray before my fights, and I'll pray with like other fighters if they're in the room. If they want to pray with me, I'll do that. And then I go into that ring representing him and representing every moral and value I stand for.
So let me get this right. Miranda, you're going to pray with them and then you're going to beat them up. And then you're going to pray with them again after you're done beating them up.
That's right. I try to. Like, people are like, I've had people who criticize it because they're like, how can you be a Christian and fight people? You know what I mean? But I just try to explain to them it's a sport. Like, everybody agreed to it. Like, I'm not praying, let me win, let me hurt them. That's not what you pray. You just pray that you can use your abilities and show the world who the Lord is through that, and be able to do your best and represent him.
Wow. So now, what's your favorite scripture? Or what's no like what's like your favorite scripture, and what like prayer do you find yourself doing the most often?
I don't even necessarily use certain scriptures, but the one that I have that represents me is that Psalm 144 about trains my hands for battle, my fingers for war. And I just think that's so relevant in what I do, that it's great. And I also like the Serenity Prayer. It's what's on my crucifix necklace. If anybody ever sees me wearing that, I wear it all the time. Um, so there's that one. I like so many, it's hard to really pick any of them, talking about how if he's with you, you'll succeed. I truly believe it.
Okay. Now, Miranda, I'm gonna let you go here in a few minutes, and I'm sorry. I just, I've always wanted to speak to you, but we have what we call as super chats in here, and that's where people were talking and they just, throw money. And George Page, he said, "Hey Maverick, where's Goose?" You know, uh, so he got her laughing. It's 7:30, so yeah, she's laughing. And Rugby Queen, she submitted $10, so that's $13. I know it's not a lot, but yeah, you just get your PayPal and we'll just send that on up to you. There you go.
Thank you to all the listeners out there. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
As far as the juice thing, all of my friends almost hate that my name is Maverick. It's because anybody that becomes like my best friend eventually gets called Goose sooner or later by somebody. And they're like, that's a rundown name. I'm like, well, I like my name. You're not getting Maverick, so sorry.
You're not getting Maverick. See, I like it. I like it, y'all. She's already saying that's my name. If you touch my name, she might armbar y'all. That's just what it is. Okay, I got two more questions, and these are ones I really want. And then I'm gonna cut it off after that. But I want to ask you, have you ever considered trying to avenge the loss to Sanchez Walker?
Yes. So, especially those rankings that came out not too long ago. Like, she's one of the top ranked, and I believe that. Like, obviously, she's what, 7-0 now, 6-0 now,
Mm-hmm.
6.
She's 6-0.
And I think a rematch would be great. I'd love a rematch. I realize that we'll meet each other probably sooner or later, regardless. It's just a matter of getting a couple fights before then and then rematching. I feel like for promotability, but maybe for that vacant title, like she's another high option there.
Okay, but your first, so okay, so it's either Sanchez Walker or Pearl Gonzalez, one of those two dogs.
Or Stephanie Geltmacher. Those are kind of the three names in the pool right now. But I'll take just about any fight, especially at this point. It's been a while, I'm waiting for a fight.
Okay, so like, if you would give a percentage, because I know you can't like say anything. I know you got to keep certain things quiet. If you would give a percentage, like what percentage do you think that Shannon Knapp is gonna like? Hey, let's book this fight. Let's go.
Uh, Probably 50%. I don't know though. She hasn't said yes or no. And I've been trying to advertise it though on Twitter and everything else, which seems to be a good outlet for that. But a lot of people want to see the Pearl Gonzalez fight versus me. Even her own coach has commented on it. So we'll see what happens.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on, Pearl Gonzalez team, all you guys. Miranda fear the Maverick. Look, she wants smoke. She wants all the smoke. She trying to get it. She don't want to duck her face. She wants to come get it. Pearl, let's get it. Pearl, I know you watch this channel. Let's go, Pearl. Let's go. She actually does. She does watch this channel from time to time.
That's good. There we go. She knows I've been calling her out, and like I find her to be a very respectful woman, and I like her fights, and I like her style and her attitude. But that doesn't mean I don't want to fight her.
See, Pearl, she adores you, Pearl, but she wants some smoke, okay? She wants some smoke, and I think she gonna come, set your house on fire. You gonna have to run out of there, Pearl. Let's get it. I'm picking, but no, I'm serious though. And everybody hopes you get your shot. And okay, well, I appreciate the time. It's early. Thank you for coming this morning. Do you have anybody you want to thank? You want to give a shout out to?
Of course. Yeah, thank you. Once again, like, thank you to the Lord above. Always give him credit for everything. Thank you to my dad for raising me to where I am, and getting me to the point that I'm at. And thank you to all my team and coaches and friends over at Springfield Fight Club in Springfield, Missouri. I give you guys all the credit for where I am. And thank you to the House of Muay Thai here in Virginia for improving all my tools and working on my striking and making me more and more confident every day to get back in that cage and get to the top. I also want to thank my sponsors. Victory Beef is one of the biggest, Orp TV, Top Mount Apparel, and now Swole Foods, who's running my meal prep, and Supplement Superstore, who takes care of my dieting and my workout regimens. So thank you to all you, and thank you to all my fans as well. If you could follow me on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, it's at Fear the Maverick. If you look up my name, Miranda Maverick, I'm pretty much the only one out there. You'll find me pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not a lot of Mavericks, and it's up on the screen too. Now, if you guys can't read, that's okay. I'll have Miranda pray that God give you knowledge on how to read, but it's up on the screen, okay? But we'll pray to the Lord for that one. Um, I'm sorry. Definitely thank you, Miranda. One last thing. Could you say your name, and could you just say, hey, you're watching Coach Shelton Harrison?
Yes. All right. I'm Miranda Fear the Maverick, and you are watching Coach Shelton Harrison.
Well, that's a Missouri welcome, and she said it right too. Thank you, Miranda. I salute you. I definitely endorse you on this channel. And Miranda, you got to tell us how how can I get a name up on that banner? How much it'll cost? Because anything that's going on your banner is definitely directly supporting you. So you got to give me a price tag, and You know,
$100 per fight is what I'm doing right now. For what's on my banner, and at 400, I'll put you on all my clothes, everything, and
really.
advertise each
Okay,
month.
so okay, 200, so $300 a fight for the banner and
Yep.
440 clothes.
Yep. In the banner. Yep.
Okay, okay, folks, I think we can do it. I think we can do it. I think it's doable. God bless you, Amanda. Miranda. Sorry. God Almighty, please forgive me. God, man, let's just bleep that out. God bless you, Miranda. Thank you for the time, and I definitely reach back out to you, girl. We got to do it again.